Welcome back, Phosphor Dot fans. Earl at thelogbook.com here with another delightful arcade obscurity. Not really that obscure, though. This game seems like it was all over the place when I was growing up. We are talking about Phoenix, released in 1980. It was originated by a company called Amstar Electronics, and then licensed variously to parties such as Taito and Centuri. I always ran into the Centuri machines in the US around 1980. In fact, I remember growing up, there was I believe it was a Kroger grocery store on North O Street in Fort Smith, Arkansas, that had one of these right by the front door. And anytime my mom had to go to the grocery store, she'd leave me there with maybe $1.50 or so in quarters. And, it's kind of unfathomable now. You think of the world we live in. Oh yeah, just leave your kid right by the front door of a store alone. At the time, it wasn't that big a deal. Besides, I was not going to go running off with any strangers. I was going to sit there and play Phoenix. The game obviously takes a few of its cues from such games as Space Invaders and Galaxian. However, you do have a shield that you can use occasionally. You can't use it all the time. It occasionally has to recharge, and therefore you won't have it until the next level. And it doesn't last very long even when you do use it, as I just inadvertently demonstrated. The neat thing about Phoenix is that while it looks early on like it's going to be just, this same variation on a very familiar theme, it doesn't stay that way. As you advance through the levels of the game, whole new threats appear, and you have to adjust your tactics accordingly. Oh, didn't activate my shields in time, and therefore I suck because I only got 820 points. Let's try it again. You can, if they are trying to kamikaze you, you can destroy the enemy with your shield. However, the timing has to be just right to accomplish that. Alright, we are now on to the actual Phoenix stage of the game. Try to get as many of them as you can before they hatch, because now they're a lot harder to kill. Strike in the center will kill the bird. Strike on the wing just leaves it without a wing, and it's just as dangerous. Case in point. Now there are 2 levels of Phoenix birds that you have to deal with. The second one is tougher because they're a little more vicious and they attack in 2 columns. So you can't do quite the same thing you can do in the first Phoenix level, where they are all lined up in a row and you can take them out before they hatch. Now it's on to the Mothership. This is, without a doubt, the toughest level in the game. But one thing you can do, one thing it's wise to do actually, is to kind of hang out by the edges of the ship and blast away at the ring as it rotates by. You see the purple ring is spinning. I always liked this because it reminded me of the Comet Empire in the early anime series Star Blazers. It looks a lot like the thing that is revealed to be at the heart of the Comet Empire. And now that I've blasted away most of the ring, it's all about trying to survive long enough to do these strafing runs right at the bottom of the ship. Oh, it was so close. And, okay, so my score is 3,500, but the high score is still 820. I demand a rematch. Let's see if I can do slightly better. The idea is you chip away at that spinning ring and eliminate as much of it as possible. And then you know, as the mothership gets closer to you, you sit there and hammer away at the bottom of the mothership until you have a clear shot at that mothership alien that is constantly shooting at you in that level. I kind of hit my shield button there too early because I was convinced that I was about to be kamikazed. Well, he went, I went, we all went. Cleared the level. Did the job. It's pretty bad when I don't survive the first 2 levels. You get more points for shooting them while they are doing dive bombing runs. Me, I'm a fan of safety. I like getting them while they are still in formation at the top of the screen, even if it's fewer points for doing so. I like the second level because there's a formation there with a kind of a nice core that you can blast most of them away in very short order. It's very satisfying when that happens. I like how they kind of unhatch and turn into eggs again. Or maybe that means they never were eggs in the first place. They were just curled up like, you know, a woodlouse. The other problem with the shield is that you are temporarily immobilized whenever you use it. Alright, let's do this thing. Maybe I should be hitting the bottom of the mothership more while there's some distance. Okay, so forget what I said earlier. This is the Sounder strategy. He said as he died and his game ended. But I'm sure you get the idea by now. When you blow up the mothership, there's a very satisfying explosion. You feel like you've gotten your 25 cents worth, and then the terror begins anew, except harder this time. Phoenix has been ported to several home consoles, both under the name Phoenix and as a number of near-beer varieties. In fact, there was a famous lawsuit between Atari and Imagic because Atari felt that Imagic's game Demon Attack was kind of ripping off Phoenix. The reason Atari was the party doing the suing, was because Demon Attack was for the Atari 2600, and Atari had spent a fair amount of money licensing Phoenix from its originators to do an official home arcade port. So there you have it, Phoenix, a game that I played right by the front door at Kroger's so many times, so many years ago.